Okay, so what are we up to right here right now? Well, I have friends who have various and sundry different problems with walking. I have one friend that's recently had a knee replacement, and I have another friend who's waiting to get a hip replacement, and I have another friend who has a bad back. And the thing about being old is these things come up. Honey Baby suggested the other day that I put some rails here so that our friends who have difficulty getting around would have something to kind of lean on. And in thinking about it, I think, yeah, it's probably a pretty good idea considering the condition of my friends. So I've started this. These pieces aren't pressure treated, which is the biggest drawback about them, but they're pieces that I have, and considering the cost of lumber right now, it's probably good to use pieces that I have. So I've got some leftover pressure treated pieces I can make almost everything else out of. I could even take a couple of 2x6s and cut them down and screw them together, but I'm going to try to get by with these. They don't touch the ground. You can see this one here is already, well, I don't know if that's termite or what, but you know, they ain't the most perfect thing, but they're what I got, and they're quick and dirty, and I can have a couple of porch rails on the house today without having to go to the lumber yard and spend, 4x4s, pressure treated. They're not cheap. If you don't believe me, go price some. And worst thing comes to worst, if these should rot away, rust away, whatever, fairly quickly, I can go get some pressure treated ones and replace them with it. So anyway, that's where I'm at today. I'm doing this, and I'm making some odd and unusual cuts. Oh, by the way, here's a tip for you. If any of you buy any of these little Stanley sawhorses, they are made to fold up and snap back together. And the problem I have had with them is that they come unsnapped and they're no longer connected, and then it's kind of like a big jigsaw puzzle trying to fit them back together. And I figured out this morning that there are holes underneath here that I could put these little pull ties on to hold this part together, which should make the rest of it pretty stable and decrease the likelihood that it all comes unsnapped and I wind up with a bunch of pieces of plastic that are useless laying on the ground. So that's what I kind of did. A little tip for you: if you got some of these, you might do something like that. So I'm studying on right now the cut I want to make and how I want to make things fit here. And feel free to watch me. Maybe you can help me figure it out as we go along here. I've made some marks on this board. I need it to have an angle like this and like this, but this needs to be over this way a little bit more. So this is going to be something I do by tilting my saw blade, which is always a little tricky, but I'm lucky. I bought this little Ryobi saw. It's pretty lightweight, and it has all these little adjustment parts that work on it. Unlike some of my older saws, which are pretty much past having the ability to do this sort of thing in the water after having been dropped from different things. It's a hard angle to get to. I'm going to do it this way. Get to it. So that's about the angle. Now I got to figure out the cut. It needs to go like this, and that needs to be transferred over to this side. See, what I got here is two angles. One goes this way, one goes that way. The whole idea I want is for this to fit there, like this, which it actually fits good right there, which is exactly what I was shooting for, I believe. Huh. Yeah. So, put y'all up here. You can kind of watch as I sort of put this in place. Give me some more long screws. What I'm going to do is take a piece of this, put it up on top of that, so that it will hide, kind of hide what I'm doing here. Maybe, sort of, maybe. I'm going to change that. Rather than having that board beside that, I'm going to try to cut it. You can't see on both ends, so it goes in the middle of that. Kind of trickery. Maybe I can, since I've already got my saw blade kind of set. It's a little scary to cut this wood because I don't have a lot of it to spare, you know. There's a little crack down under, but you can't hardly see it unless you bend over and look for it. And so I think I can get by with that. I'm going to bring my grinder around here and just work this off. Okay then. I wonder if I can do that on the other side successfully. What do you think, Ma?